afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in this afternoon. We will watch the debates from Group 3. Before that, we will introduce ourselves. My name is Agerson, here as adjudicator. Next, Government team. Next is Annisa Hikmawati as Prime Minister, Nurul Izzatunnisa as Deputy Prime Minister, Arinda Enggar as Member for the Government, Ahmad Firdaus as Government Whip. Next, Opposition team. Kristian Taufik as Opposition Leader, Friscillia Pujianti as Deputy Opposition Leader, Agustinus Ripaldo as Member for the Opposition, Imanuel as Opposition Whip. Well, the topic of the debate this time is online learning as alternative to distance learning during the COVID-19 pandemic has become an effective option. But on this discussion, we will discuss how important online learning as an alternative to distance learning during the COVID-19 pandemic has become an effective option. We are with 8 people who will comment on this issue. Annisa Hikmawati, time is yours.
Thanks to the moderator. I think I agree with this motion. Why? Because distance learning is carried out by teachers through online media such as WhatsApp, Google Meet, Google Form, and other types. However, this system needs special learning design and technique in order to be implemented. Policy evaluation needs to be carried out to evaluate the distance learning system has been implemented in school at all levels of education. The problem of distance learning include the unequal access to the internet network, inadequate devices, the high cost of quota, the uneven mastery of science and technology among educators or teachers, the unpreparedness of implementing the learning and teaching process using distance learning methods, and the difficulty of parents in assisting their children. Their children carrying out teaching and learning activities are an obstacle encountered during the distance learning process. Some solutions that have been provided by the government are that there are several regulations that clearly regulate and provide an overview of how the distance learning process is implemented, such as Circular of number 15 of 2020, counseling guideline for the implementation of learning from home in the emergency period for the spread of COVID-19. Flexibility in the use of bus fund to subsidize teacher and student quota is one of the policies issued by the government in overcoming the high cost of quota in the context of implementing the distance learning. For this reason, a comprehensive evaluation needs to be carried out by stakeholders from the school committee, community leader, parents, the guardian of students, and the education office, so that the quality of education is a long-term investment for a nation concerning the future. That's all from me. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for Annisa Hikmawati as Prime Minister. Next, we will hear from Kristian Taufik as opposition leader. Kristian Taufik, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for moderator. My name is Kristian Taufik. I do not agree with what has been said that online learning is an alternative to distance learning during the COVID-19 pandemic is an effective option because I think online learning is quite effective and innovate with this online learning. In my opinion, the effectiveness of this learning is not caused by offline or online learning, but rather due to the student own factor. Students who have a high sense of aim for learning will remain serious and enthusiastic in participating in learning. Namely, wanting to educate and provide knowledge to students. If students keep the material provided by a teacher will. Online learning is not an obstacle for students to gain knowledge. Not even a few people say that online learning is a barrier for students to gain knowledge and strongly disagree. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kristian Taufik, for your speak. Next, for the Deputy Prime Minister, Nurul Izzatunnisa, time and place is yours.
Thanks for the moderator. My name is Nurul Izzatunnisa as Deputy Prime Minister. I agree with the statement that online learning as an alternative to distance learning during the COVID-19 pandemic has become an ineffective option because technology used based distance learning requires a different approach in terms of planning, implementing, and evaluating it. In the implementation of distance learning, students need special attention, especially the infrastructure use and adequate internet network and self-motivation to be able to participate in independent learning process. The problems of distance learning include the uneven access to the internet network, inadequate devices, the high cost of quotas, the uneven mastery of science and technology among educators or teachers, the unprepared implementation of the teaching and learning process using distance learning methods, and the difficulty of parents in accompanying their children carrying out teaching and learning activities is an obstacle encountered during the distance learning process. Until the end of April 2020, the Indonesian Child Protection Commission received at least 246 complaints related to distance learning. Things that become points of complaint, among others, are the many tasks given by the teachers to the limited internet quota and tools to participate in distance learning. Then complaint from parents who also have to allocate more time to accompany their children, especially who attend elementary school during the distance learning process. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for Nurul Izzatunnisa as Deputy Prime Minister for your argument. Next, we will hear from Friscillia Pujianti as a Putri as Deputy Opposition Leader. For Friscillia, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for moderator. I am Friscillia Pujianti as a Putri as Deputy Opposition Leader. I don't agree because online learning this pandemic is not effective. Because there are many students who are hampered by limited access, interference with learning at home, internet networks, and also many students who is slow in understanding his mistakes. So, I don't agree with this online learning during this pandemic. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Friscillia Pujianti for your argument. Next, we will hear from Arinda Enggar as member the government. Arinda Enggar, time is yours.
Okay, for the first, let me introduce myself. My name is Arinda Ayuningtyas from Government School of Government. Distance learning, also known by various names such as distance education, e-learning, mobile learning, or online learning. It's a form of education where there is physical separation of teacher from students during the instruction and learning process. But the thing that makes distance learning effective is that some people have problems with signal. Besides that, most students are lazy to listen the material explanation from teacher or lecturer with the excuse of being sleepy or bored. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Arinda Enggar. Next, we will hear from Agustinus Ripaldo as member for the opposition. Agustinus Ripaldo, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the moderator. I'm Agustinus Ripaldo as member for the opposition. We say online learning is ineffective, especially in relationship between students and teachers in the classroom. But why COVID-19 like this, we shall tell you the truth. Like when you saw be in their house all the time and be prohibited, it will certainly make you feel frustrated, and you need what is called social media, the most important online learning media. Online learning media is needed at the time of the pandemic, which is, of course, a great help in the preservation of learning and teaching for most people. Some might say it's highly ineffective, but it is a vital rule in the COVID-19 period as it is today. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you for Agustinus Ripaldo for your arguments. Next, we will hear argument from Ahmad Firdaus as Government Whip. Ahmad Firdaus, time is yours.
Thank you for the moderator. I'm Ahmad Firdaus as the Government Whip. One of the problems online can become less effective is that many students are forced to change their cell phones or buy the latest laptop to support online learning. In the lower class of society, technology becomes a serious problem because they cannot afford good technology as a result. These students cannot participate in online. Many students rely on internet quota as a means in the learning process. The loss incurred by students and parents are getting bigger because the internet quota needed by students is very large. Not only internet quota but also technology limitations. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for Ahmad Firdaus. Next and last, we will hear from Step Imanuel as opposition whip. Step, time is yours.
Okay, thank you to Agerson as moderator in here. I am as member of opposition whip. It's here. I do not agree that online learning as an alternative to distance learning during that COVID-19 pandemic is an effective option. Let's look the level of death or those who have been exposed to the COVID virus. Recently, with the holding of online learning activities, it is easier and there is no need to come face to face with one another so that we can break the chains of spread of COVID-19. And many else say that online learning was full of costs and facilities. Even when we meet to face, we spend a lot of pocket money on our children, where we has to buy a canteen or book money for vehicle fuel. Therefore, online learning must be done during a pandemic like today. For for to who are still concerned about the cost of the facility, I think about it even more. It's better to pay for one day or spend 1 to 3 days on weeks. Okay, so much from me. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for step Imanuel. Thank you for argument from its members. The response is for us. Our attitude must respond to this is a way that we can see with our respective viewers and value. Online learning is not effect, but in order to maintain safety. Together, we must also follow all exciting procedures. Thank you for your attention. Sorry if there is a mistake in the middle of this debate. I'm Agerson as adjudicator with my fellow debate members. Say together to my resignation. Thank you and good afternoon.